Right, well, I was just trying to show there, and it's really hard to show it, unfortunately. And I'll try and see if I can get it back to a bit. It's really difficult because you really need to use your own eyes for this. Let's try it once more. Maybe there, but if you can see, there's a line that comes down there. Again, it's really difficult to show on here. Basically what it is, I just got the LG G4, it's a 65-inch one, beautiful TV and everything, but before getting it, I did see in one of the forums where people complaining about this line going down the screen. It's not banding, it is just one line and it's purely perfect in the middle. 95% of the time you can't see it. Things going fast on the screen, colours and everything, you don't notice it. It's in things like this where it's the set colours and it's a slow panning, and that's when you can see it. Now, I know what I'm looking for, and I can see that line coming down. It might look like a bit of a slight shade. Again, by the time this gets to YouTube, it'll probably compress it and knacker it. But if you just keep watching the start of this video, you might actually see it. So it's like a slightly shaded line, and then when the camera pans, you can see it more. There's a few people told us which films to use. There was certain scenes on Avatar, Interstellar, Blade Runner 2049, where they've got certain set backgrounds and there's slow panning shots, and you can see this slightly shaded line there. I took pot luck and thought, it can't be that many, surely. Even though there was like, say, about 80 people in this forum complaining about it with different photographs and stuff. I got the G4. First thing I did, this is even still got the plastic thing on it because it's gone back, is I came to this, and this is somebody on YouTube who's made a video, and it's called G4 Fault Test. And I put this on, and I was a bit gutted when I seen, this thing. Again, you can't go by this. What you actually see with your own eyes is completely different to what this sees. But I can see this line that goes down. Anyway, so I went to the forum and people were saying different reasons to what it is. Supposedly somebody got a feedback from LG saying that it would be fixed within 2 firmware updates. Those firmware updates have been and gone. Still no fix. Now, you'd like to think that maybe one day a firmware fix will come along, but then some G3 owners came into the forum and said, we've got G3s and we have that line, so it's been around for a while. And then there was a G2 owner came in and said, yeah, I have that line as well. So it doesn't seem to be a software thing, because if it is, it's been going on for years and they've still not sorted it. One of the main things here is the fact that people don't notice it. 99 out of 100 people will not see that. You can show them this, you'll probably even watch this going, what the hell's he on about? What line? There's nothing there. It's a great picture. It's a great picture, but it's there. And once you see it and once you notice it, you can't unsee it. 95% of the time, you won't notice it in your footage. Colours moving too fast, you just won't see it. And again, if you look down here, there's nothing. You can't see anything. It's only when you get into like a gradient solid colour that you'll actually notice it, or slow panning shots. But again, for this kind of money, that kind of thing shouldn't be around. We have enough trouble with tinting and grayscale and all these other kind of things that can go wrong with new TVs, and not getting ones that's got the best quality control. And so the last thing you want is yet another thing to worry about. But anyway, so I went down to the showroom and I said, my G4's got this, and even though the rep was nice and everything, he was all great about it. He was a bit like, really? We've sold hundreds of these and no one said anything about this? And I said, well, the thing is, unless you're kind of techie person or connoisseur or a bit of a movie file where you're going to sit down and actually pay attention to the screen, you're probably not going to notice it. So I'm not surprised you sold hundreds, if not thousands of TVs and no one said anything. But the thing is, it doesn't change the fact that it's still there, and it shouldn't be. So we tried it on the G4, this test, actually, sorry, got him to try this actual test in the shop, and sure enough, it came on. He was a bit gobsmacked, so I thought, well, we're going to have to go for the C4 then, because it's a different kind of panel, it'll be okay. And we moved to the C4, and sadly, it did the exact same thing. Not as bad, because the C4 doesn't get as bright as the G4, but it still does it. Chap went away, and we started to arrange things about getting a different type of TV. We looked at the Samsung, the 95 S95D, I think it is, and did some few things on that. I was happy with that, but then he came back and said, well, I think it was more so he just wanted to test it, and also a hot peace of mind to see whether this footage is maybe not corrupted and it's going to do on everyone's TV. So we put this footage onto the Samsung, and it wasn't there. The Samsung is not my ideal TV. The G4 was my ideal, but I don't want this. So I am having to take, it's a bit of a saving on money as well, the Samsung, but there is a few things which are a slight pro with the Samsung, and there's some cons with it as well. So it's something which I'm going to have to just deal with, unfortunately. But for anyone who's got a G4 or a C4, I'm going to put a link in here to the test, and also for the forum. I will say this now: if you've got a G4 and C4 and you love it and you're happy with it, just leave it at that and just walk away, kind of thing. Just keep enjoying it and just don't bother with it. I've already had a few people in forums that I've shown and pointed this out to, and they're a bit unhappy that they actually did go ahead and have a look for this. But curiosity being the thing that it is, yeah, we all want to know, and they're a bit saddened that they've actually got this on the TV. They just never noticed it before because no one's ever pointed it out, and the eyes have just never picked it up before. But as I say, I'll leave that in the description and stuff, details. So if you want to go and check yours, you can do. I've not seen any reports on the 55-inch TVs being affected. That might be down to sales and people report, I don't know. But certainly the 65 and the 83s have got a lot of reports on it. 77's not as much, but certainly the 65 and the 83s. So as I say, if you want to test your TV, by all means you can go and have a look. And again, what you're looking for, like I say, it's just such a shame that you can't really see it on there, but there is a line there, and it goes right the way down from top to bottom. Like I say, you can't see it as much in here, but when the screen starts to pan, you'll see like this shaded line in the middle of the screen. And in fact, the really strange thing about it is as though like one side of the screen and that side of the screen there, it's just a tiniest touch darker on that side than it is to that side. It's just tiny touch, and when this moves you can see that. So again, I don't think it's software, unfortunately. I think it is hardware, and LG do know about it, but unfortunately every time that people have been getting in touch and doing stuff with them, they do the thing of, oh really, this is the first time I've heard about this, oh I've never had this before. And it's like, there's hundreds of people in one forum alone that's been getting in touch with them and sending them messages, and there's quite a few forums out there with these things in. So obviously it's the same kind of, well, that's news to us kind of spiel, which most companies do because they don't want to admit to any kind of issues and faults, which from a company point of view I don't blame them, because if something like this was to blow up and people start saying, oh I want my money back, or I want my TV panel changed and fixed, it could cost them obviously millions of pounds. So it's something which I kind of don't blame them, but at the same time this kind of thing should not be happening, not this day and age anyway, not when they're boasting the capabilities of these TVs and asking the money. But anyway, so yeah, a bit different from the PC thing, which is still rocking down there. But yeah, I suppose I'll maybe do a video when the Samsung one comes and see what that works out, what it's all like and that. Anyway, bye.